Joah's journey. Well, today is foundation Friday and I love testing out foundations, but if one of those Fridays is not a foundation, it could be another product that it has to do with cosmetics, but I'm gonna keep it more with foundation. So I'm so excited to try the new foundation. I really like trying foundation, especially because my skin is very sensitive and complicated, it's oily, and there's a lot of foundations that a lot of people love, but then my skin says no way, it doesn't like it, will not accept it. I have some bad reactions to it. I really love testing out foundations to see if there's an alternative out there that is a better price, it has better coverage, and it's good for me. So that's why I love testing out foundations. Well, today's a foundation that I've been seeing in the drugstore, and I'm so impressed with the packaging. I'm so impressed the way that it looks. I'm going to show you pictures in case you have passed by the drugstore and completely missed that stand already. And they have everything in there, including brushes. They're all very detailed. At least I've seen it in CVS. But I was finally able to get 4 items, which I am wearing today. You're gonna see the tutorial first, how it looks on me, my reaction, my first impression. I love that it's drops, and let me put a drop here. So I love applying my foundation with this brush. I feel like when you apply foundation with the beauty blender, I feel like, or any sponge, it just goes inside the sponge and you lose some products. So I feel like this is such a good way to apply it. That should be enough, or more than enough. Let's see. As you can see, my skin is uneven. I have a lot of redness around, discoloration, acne, dark spots, large pores. I have oily skin, and I also have sensitive skin. So I'm gonna see how this foundation works on my skin, how it looks throughout the day, how is the coverage, and if it hides all those areas that are not so great. Remember, I just put a few drops there and I'm touching it, and it looks like it matches my skin. So I don't know if the brush is the best way to apply it, but I'm gonna apply a few more drops. You know what, I'm just gonna put the drops on my skin. It's so much lighter, but I'm applying right on top where I already have put a simple coat, and you can see the colors are very different. So it does dry quickly, and it does seem like it gets a little darker, so maybe oxidize just a bit. What I'm gonna do now is apply the concealer. So I'm gonna start with the concealer I did share. This is also full coverage concealer, and this one, as they say, that is natural ivory. That's the shade that I got. I'm gonna apply it in the corner of the beauty blender, since it's a different technique, that the applicator is very different. I don't know if it's full coverage. I feel like it took a lot of the foundation using the sponge. I don't like the shade, how it looks on me, but I'm just going to apply a little bit more to cover this area. And normally you don't see it so pink, but you can see that using the sponge to apply the concealer, it did remove it, so I don't like that. I never really had that issue, no matter how light the foundation was. You will see that I was not impressed because it did take a lot of drops for me to use this. I was using the brush, which is the way that I apply all my foundations now. I love how it looks using this brush, but I noticed that using the brush, it was not really a good technique using this foundation. But lately, once I applied this foundation, I noticed that using the beauty blender, using the sponge, works a lot better, in the sense that it does stay. Another tip, I've noticed that once I apply the foundation and I'm going right away with the concealer, as you can see the first impression, it did not work for me. It started removing my foundation. I was able to see this part right here that right now you're not able to see, but if you look at that first impression video, you will notice that it removed it and it was showing that area. So I noticed that once I apply the foundation, I need to wait, let it fan, let it set, let it dry, and then I apply the concealer. It's the only thing I've seen. I've noticed that applying the concealer with the sponge doesn't work for me. If they removed it, and you can see remove most of the foundation, maybe it is because it needs to set. So now what I do is I let it set, I let it dry, then I go with the concealer. With the concealer, I like using a brush that is to apply the concealer. That when I apply my contour, I have to apply a lot more, and the same way goes with blush. It's like the product is kind of like sealed, and it's like it has like a coverage there, like a protection that if you apply something else, it takes longer for me to build it. That's something I notice every time I have used this foundation. And today I apply a powder around, which I have not been, I don't apply setting powder at all. The only powder that I put a little bit is on here and here. And when I did this just here on this section here, and just to work on my pores, it does look really nice on my skin. But any other setting powder that I've been using, you know, when you bake, I've noticed that it doesn't look so, it looks like you could find some spots there with the powder. So I could still see that barrier, that protection that the foundation has. It's like a seal, and anything that you put on top, you have to be careful because you have to apply more. It's my overall impression with these two. I would say I really like this one, even though I have to put more product, and I do like that it's a dropper. This one does have 1.01 ounce, just a little bit more. I do like the packaging. It is very, it is glass, and it has a nice dropper, so I do like that from that product. I do like how it looks on me. The only thing I don't like is that usually my foundations, because I changed my skincare routine, my foundations, they tend to last 6 to 7 hours, sometimes 8 hours, and it does, my skin still looks pretty good. It doesn't look too oily. But with this one, after 4 hours, I noticed that it started to show a little bit oily. So this is when this comes in. They have two different ones. They have one for a dewy look. This one is for matte. And this one is Selfie Ready Setting Spray. You look at the packaging, it's really pretty. And the way that it feels is funny because the mist, it is kind of strong but soft at the same time. And when I apply it, it feels like it has a lot of coverage. It goes way out. Some mist, it kind of like focus in some areas, but not so much. And I feel like wherever I have powder with this, now that I applied the setting spray, is showing more. So I'm not liking that. See, applying setting powder, oh my gosh, I don't like how my makeup looks today because of the powder. But I have not been using the powder, and I do like how it looks. It looks like with this foundation, less is more. You can see, look at the touch of gold in every single one of them. It is, I'm telling you, this is what really caught my eye. Their packaging and how it looks, every single one of them has some type of color to it in the store. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comment section. I really hope that you like this video. If you want to see more of these Foundation Friday, you don't want to miss them, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. So I hope you enjoyed my first Foundation Friday, and this is a series that I hope that I'm going to continue sharing it with you and bringing you more of those items and tell you my overall impression. So it's really my first impression, the video, the tutorial, but I did wear it for a few more days, so I'm going to give you more input of how it works and those tricks, that how I made it work for me. And even though I had to make it work for me, I really like the foundation and the concealer. So if this is gonna be my all-time favorite, in the future I'll let you know. So thank you so much for watching, and until the next video, bye.